Hello again, everybody. This is John with BestPriceNutrition.com. Today I'm going to be reviewing for you TruNutrition Science's Trutein protein. This product comes in 5 flavors: chocolate, chocolate peanut butter cup, vanilla, chocolate dip strawberry, and chocolate covered banana. Now, this product has become pretty popular lately. A lot of people like it because they like the taste of it. But today we're going to cover some of that stuff, but that's more subjective. We're going to go into the ingredients on the product, and also I'll go through with you guys and discuss the overall profile of the product in terms of the protein and how I think it stacks up. The idea behind this product is that they're being truthful in what they're telling you as far as the content of the protein. They're telling you right off the bat that it's 40% whey, 40% micellar casein, and 20% egg white, which is nice. As many of you know, when you get into proteins like whey, casein, really what we're talking about is a group of microfractions that make up that protein. So for it to truly be casein, it has to be micellar casein. Otherwise, it could be just alpha and beta casein, for instance, which doesn't include the other microfractions that make up casein protein. And a little background is that bovine protein is about 80% casein, 20% whey. Human milk protein is about 60% whey, 40% casein. So give you a little idea on those. So right away, off the bat, this product, the original serving size on this particular flavor we're looking at, which is chocolate peanut butter cup, it's 115 calories per serving. There's 67 servings in this 5-pound container. It's 1.5 grams of fat, 5 grams of carbohydrates, 2.5 of which is fiber, and 23 grams of protein. It also has 75 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids added into it. So going into the ingredients specifically, we start off with their protein blend, which they describe as pure, undenatured, and non-thermally processed nanofiltered milk protein isolate, providing micellar casein. So, as we said, milk protein is about 80% casein, 20% whey. Next, their ingredient up is ultra-filtered milk protein concentrate, egg albumin, which is egg white protein, cross-flow nanofiltered whey protein isolate, so it's a cross-flow microfiltration whey protein isolate, and then ultra-filtered whey protein concentrate. Now, on the specific protein in this product, whey protein concentrate versus whey protein isolate. Whey protein isolate is going to have a higher percentage protein because we're isolating the protein, getting all the fat and lactose out of the protein. So usually when you're talking about whey protein isolate, you're talking about 90% and up in terms of percent protein per serving. Whereas with whey protein concentrate, that could vary anywhere from as low as 34%, as high as 84%, give or take, depending upon which manufacturer you're dealing with. Whey protein isolates are thought to be better because, again, it's going to have the higher percentage of whey protein isolate, and also some of the protein microfractions tend to be preserved a little better. Now, with whey protein isolate, you want to look at how is the protein processed. There's ion exchange, where you exploit the charges. You tend to get a higher yield of protein, but that tends to not be as friendly to the protein microfractions. There's one specifically that escapes me right now, but that it tends to reduce more than the others. Whereas cross-flow microfiltration is a much better way to isolate a protein. You're going to get a better yield on your protein. You're not going to get as high of a percent, but the protein itself is going to be preserved, the tertiary structure, so on and so forth. Now with casein, as we discussed off the bat, if it's a micellar casein, that means it's a full casein, and that's what you want. Both whey and casein proteins are rich in branched-chain amino acids, and the casein is going to absorb a little bit slow. The whey protein is going to absorb a lot faster. And then the egg protein that's in here is going to absorb somewhere in between. It's a little bit slower than whey, but not much. It's a pretty fast absorbing protein. So I do, again, like the fact that they do give you 40%, 40%, 20%, so you know exactly what you are getting. Sometimes companies will give you a blended protein, but we don't know what percent of each protein you're getting because the fact is that some protein types cost more than others. For instance, cross-flow microfiltration whey protein isolate is more expensive for a company to put in a product than whey protein concentrate. Same thing, micellar casein is more expensive than putting in like a calcium caseinate. It's not to say that the concentrates and caseinates are terrible or anything like that, just that they cost more. The isolates tend to be a little bit better, and again, there's a cost involved. So for a company to come out and tell you this is the percent you're getting of each one is nice. Next up is they do discuss that they have some specific things that they add to this. For instance, they add some enzymes to it, some protease enzymes, which are enzymes that help you break down protein. That's a nice addition. They also add what they call a nucleotide blend, providing adenosine, cytosine, guanine, inosine. Not sure on the research on that as far as how well those absorb. I mean, the idea here, and if you look at the bottle, is to increase ATP levels. Not sure, again, on the research is how well those absorb and how effective those are at increasing ATP. There may be something out there, I just wasn't able to find anything, at least that was peer-reviewed. That's not to say that it doesn't exist. They do cover the fact that it is rich in BCAAs and glutamine, which you expect, because these sources are going to be rich in those specific amino acids, whey, casein specifically. They also have a 2.5 gram prebiotic fiber blend, including inulin and beta-glucan. That's what we talked about originally when we were looking at the carbohydrate content, is the fiber is added to it, which is nice. You always want to get some fiber in the diet. And they also talk about omega-3s. 75 milligrams of omega-3s, that's kind of low. I mean, ideally you'd want a little bit more, but if you're taking, 2 scoops, you're up to 150, and maybe you're using it twice a day. So that could turn out to be a decent amount of omega-3s for you. And specifically, they're using the ALA, the alpha-linolenic acid, which comes from flax. And there's some debate amongst people who are into omega-3s as to how effectively your body converts ALA into EPA and DHA. Typically, most studies that I have seen is that men struggle the most with converting ALA to DHA. So, if you take this and you add a good fish oil capsule, that would cover you on your omega-3s. So, overall, it's a nice blend. It is nice, again, like I said, that they do tell you, hey, you're getting X percent, 40% whey, 40% micellar casein, 20% egg white. The feedback on this, again, it's subjective, is that the taste is very good, consistency is good. So, take that for what it's worth. I don't like to vouch for flavors because a lot of people will, say, hey, this tastes bad, this tastes good. A product that it's commonly compared to is Myofusion. I could see the comparison in that they're both blended proteins, whey, casein based. Biggest difference is that we're not sure what percent of each you're getting in the Gaspari Myofusion. They're not telling you, whereas with this one they are, so it is kind of nice. That's not to say Gaspari is hiding something, we just don't know what those percentages are, so that's something else to consider. Yeah, I think we covered everything. If I missed anything, please feel free to go ahead and post questions in the comments section. More than happy to answer them. Also, you'll find it posted on our blog. And you can also find us on Facebook.com/BestPriceNutrition. Thank you.